Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm back with another convention report. Yes, another convention. This time around, I went to a very cool convention called Comics in Color, which is a convention where all of the creators there are creators of color. So we have black creators and Latinx creators and all sorts of great creators who have come together to show all of their cool work. And so I really wanted to support the community, both the indie comics community and the black comics community. So I had a choice of comic conventions. There were two shows the same day, and the other one was the Little Giant show up in New Hampshire, which is a show that is specifically for old school back issue collectors like myself. So I was really excited to go to that, but when I saw the Comics in Color was the same day, I said, no, I want to do that instead. So I went down there. Before I jump into it, I do want to just quickly mention my Kickstarter for my comic that I create, which is the Crimebusters issue 4. The Kickstarter is going live on May 15. I have the link down below so you can check out the pre-launch page now. You can click on the notify me button so that you don't miss that. I'm also going to be doing a live stream on May 15 to kick it off. But this isn't about my comics. It's about the other comic creators who are out there making comics. And so you know how excited I get to support the indie self-published comics community, particularly the local community. Here in Boston, we have dozens and dozens, hundreds probably, of comic creators making their own comics. It's just a really rich and vibrant scene. And so some of these creators I've seen at other shows. You've seen them too because I've featured them before, but I want to show you the haul that I got here. I did get this little video of the convention floor, and you'll see there was one back issue booth, and it was so cool. I didn't get any back issues, but you can kind of see it just in the quick walk by. All of the back issues that the person had were all featuring black characters. So it was all stories with like Brother Voodoo and Luke Cage and the Falcon, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Miles Morales. The whole wall of back issues there, their wall books, all featuring black characters, Static, Black Lightning, and then all of the boxes of back issues, all black characters. So I thought that was super cool. But I didn't get any back issues. I spent all my money on supporting, again, the local community, the local creators. And so, first off, we're going to start off with issues 1 and 2 of Bad Cop versus Good Cop, The Lost Fortune of Boston. So you may remember Bad Cop versus Good Cop from a video I did for Mini Mice, which is an indie convention here in Boston that I went to in the fall, and I got a copy of Bad Cop versus Good Cop. It's by a kid by the name of Niall Hennick. I don't know exactly how old he is, maybe 10. And at that time, his issues of Bad Cop versus Good Cop were photocopied. They were just like photocopies that have been stapled together. But since then, he's put together more comics, and they printed them at Comics Wellspring, which is where I print my comics. So we got the color covers, and then we got some action here and some cool comics. I love to support the young comic creators, so I was really happy to get these. I did enjoy Bad Cop versus Good Cop. Haven't read these yet, but I like the one that I got back in the fall, so happy to get those. It's cool to see more issues coming out. Also got this. This was cool. It's called actually, I'm not quite sure if it's Dracian. I'm going to say Dracon, I'm not sure. Chapter 1, The Distant Tower. Now, I've featured on some of my previous videos the work of the creator GM Abreu, and this is a creator that I actually shared a table with. We did a convention up in Vermont, so if you go through my previous convention reports, you'll find some of GM Abreu's works there. And so I have all their previous works, but this is a new one, and This is a much longer work. It's also in color, and it's a fantasy story, and so it's cool. For me, I think this is the best work they've done so far. It's a long one. It's 38 pages. Says it's part one. I will say that I have the previous, I think, 3 books that they did, and most of those are chapter 1s and they haven't been to chapter 2. So I'm hoping at some point we'll get chapter 2s to some of these. But always cool to see something from GM Breu. And then also got this. They were sharing a table with a creator by the name of Saeed Lestrade. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. This is called Mobius. Very sort of a distinctive art style. Very expressive. And again, Saeed is an artist who I got something from at Mini Mice. At that time, I think I only got from him a tarot card, and he had another comic that he had done that was part of like a magazine, like a free magazine. But haven't had a chance to dive into this yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So that was really cool to get that. I also got Wasteland Inchworm by Bryce Bullock. This is for kids, and it's a fun story. It's like a inchworm in a post-apocalyptic future, in a world that has been destroyed by an invasion of Pop-Tarts. So it's a fun little book like that. I also got issue 5 of a comic called Adventures of a System Admin, Back to Business. And actually, I like this one. This was fun. I like the art. Let me just pull this out here. The creator's name, the writer is named Juan Espinoza, and the artist is El Santa. And I really like the art, and I thought the story was charming. And it's exactly what it says it is. It's about a group of people working in like an IT department. And I'm always excited to see indie books that are continuing to come out, like regular series. So issue 5, they did have a trade for issues 1 to 4. I think we're seeing like a lot more of these now. When I was going to conventions like 5-10 years ago, you'd see people with their indie books, but there weren't that many that were like continuing series, right? And there's only a couple locally that have really been going for a while, like the Underburbs and Laserman, which I've talked about before. But we're seeing more and more series that are continuing, and now so seeing this up to issue 5. It's not a book that I had seen before, but it was really cool to see that. So here's one I have not had a chance to read yet, but it's definitely like a high quality. I can tell just by looking at it. It's a anthology short stories. Ingrid Pierre is the creator. It's called Girls Steal Your Beauty. It has a very sort of distinct art aesthetic, like the coloring, the design. Like there's intentional sort of color filters for different stories. And I'm trying to find another one to show you. Like, it looks really well done. Like a slice of life sort of anthology. So I'm looking forward to this. The art's really cool. So again, I haven't had a chance to get into it, but I like that. Okay, next up, here's a book that has been Kickstarted, although I haven't seen it on Kickstarter before. It's called Icarus Metro, and you can see like the art looks really cool. And what I have here is a flyer. I bought the first 2 issues, and then when I got home, discovered I didn't have them. So it was pretty frustrating. Don't blame the creator. Basically what happened was I bought the first 2 issues. I think he was signing them. We were having a conversation about our Kickstarters and possibly doing cross promotion. And right in the middle of like a sentence, some dude just like barged in, like just pushed in and totally interrupted, like just jumped right in and just cut me off, interrupted. And, the guy who was running the table was trying to be polite to everybody. And so I was trying to just finish what I was saying, and this guy just kept interrupting me. So I was like, I just gave the guy my card, the creator my card, and I was like, you know what, we'll touch base some other time. And either I walked away and they were on the table, or he hadn't finished signing them. But basically, this jerk just like completely interrupting and ruining our interaction resulted in me not getting the $15 worth of comics that I paid for. So I was pretty aggravated with that. Again, not with the people running the table. It was just super rude from the other person that was at the convention. It looks cool. I have no clue what it's about though, because I haven't had a chance to read it since I didn't actually get the comics. But finally, I wanted to save this for last because I have read this, and it's also another comic that you can back on Kickstarter. Don't think there's one running right now, but I've seen it on there before. And I hadn't backed it just because I back a lot of stuff on Kickstarter, and I'm spending a lot of money on these things. And so just didn't know enough about it. But when I saw it, I had to get it. I didn't know the guy was local. And now that I've had a chance to read it, it's excellent. It's called Isnana the Were Spider. This is Isnana the Were Spider here. And of course, this is John Henry, but there's 2 stories in here. The first one's called The Ballad of Rawhead, and it was excellent. It's a horror story, which is not my usual thing, but I mean our superhero guy is a were spider, so I guess that's to be expected. There's a part in the backup story where like they're fighting a giant robot, and our guy, the were spider, they both get blasted. John Henry and Isnana get blasted, and so he grabs this spider that he has that carries around with him and like eats it, and it transforms him into this thing, into this gigantic were spider monstrosity guy. And so he becomes like this gigantic, like 50-foot tall spider monster, and dukes it out with the robot. It's really cool, and the first story is super cool. Again, I'm not really a horror person, but I thought it was excellent. Really well written, really good art. Again, you got to check out Isnana the Were Spider. Go to Kickstarter. When you go to Kickstarter, for instance, to click on the Notify Me button for Crimebusters 4, do a quick search, and this will come up, and you can, assuming you can find more out about the comic there, because it was really cool. So that was my haul for this convention. It was, if you're familiar with the area, it was down at the Reggie Lewis Center. So it's just like a half a mile from the Museum of Art. And the Isabella Gardner Stewart Museum. So it's right down there. So easy enough to get to. It's just, and there's a tea stop right there. So this is, I think, the second time they've had it. Last year it was canceled because of COVID, or 2 years ago, I forget. One of the years it was canceled. But finally had a chance to get there, and I was really excited, and a lot of great creators. So be sure to check out. They have a Facebook page. I'll put the link down below so you can, for their websites, the Comics in Color convention, you can keep in touch with that. So anyway, that's it for this time. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.